Hello, I'm Sean Pritchard, and this is how I live with style at Christmas. So this is the room at my cottage in Somerset that I rather grandly call the library because it's full of books. We've lived here at the cottage, me and my partner Dan, for about 5 years. I'm sort of fascinated by cottages and cottage gardens and the romantic vision of what I read about in Gertrude Jekyll books. For me, a cottage like this really comes into its own at Christmas, so let's go and have a look at the tree. I don't really stop decorating the cottage throughout the whole of December, so that by the time Christmas comes around, there's not a wall or a table or a shelf that isn't covered with some sort of Christmas decoration. On the tree, it's colourful, it's camp, it's kitsch. When I look back, decorating the tree was always one of the most exciting bits of being a child, and that's never sort of left me. And doing this and creating a different look and feel of a tree every year seems to somehow capture that magic and excitement of being a child at Christmas. One of my favourite new decorations is this sun from Choose and Keeping. Decorations get mixed together alongside things that I've made, paper, stars and paper chains, for example. This sun, a little tin decoration that Dan picked up in Mexico about 20 years ago. This decoration that was made in memory of my granddad and was given to all members of our family when he died. I find it hard to be tasteful at Christmas. I think there's too much going on, there's too much colour, there's too much noise and activity and events and stories. Trying to make sense of all of that in a sort of tasteful, considered way just feels like too much of a hard task for me. Hosting Christmas lunch at the cottages is one of my favourite things to do. On Christmas Eve, Dan and I usually have our Somerset Christmas. I think this room is a good example of, I guess, how I like to have fun with decoration and sort of finding the nooks and crannies where something else can go. I was struggling to find the right chairs for the dining table for a long time. And so what I decided to do was to have the ones that we had repainted this gloss postbox red, with the intention that they'd only ever be very temporary, but actually they've ended up staying, and I've grown really quite fond of this red, which I guess shouldn't work with the orange walls, but somehow I quite like the mix of the two. It's sort of fields and the hills and the farms that are our neighbours. And there's something that I really look forward to coming back to when we leave London and we come here. Hearing the owl at night and the birds during the day, and seeing all the wildlife that runs past the cottage and sometimes right through the cottage. We quite regularly have a mouse that comes to visit us. Recently we had a ferret. So let's head upstairs. So two of my favourite things in the whole cottage are here in the bedroom. Firstly, these curtains, which are an old chintz by the Somerset art dealer Jack Brister. And also this pair of watercolour paintings that I got from another local artist called Louise Rowe, and they're scenes from within her greenhouse in the summer. And really, you know, it's hard to feel down and low about things when I'm looking into these paintings, even in the depths of winter like now. I think it was probably, looking back, my granddad that got me into gardening. He wasn't necessarily a great gardener himself, but what he did do every summer was grow sweet peas. And sowing sweet peas for the year ahead is something that, as a ritual, I always do on Boxing Day. The cottage is about 300 years old, and for me now it's all about, you know, making sure that this house feels authentic and has integrity to what it's always been, which is an old, small, modest labourer's cottage in the middle of rural Somerset. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed looking around my cottage. Don't forget to subscribe to the Times Life and Style YouTube channel. Merry Christmas.